cross the threshold, find the prize of a new day, new part to play, brand new start.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Congratulations on successfully navigating the time change, which nicely ties in with our November theme, On the Path of Change. I'm Cheryl Morris, filling in for Gracie Kendrick, who actually planned this service along with Rain Tebow. We're here at the Unitarian Universalist Community of the Mountains in Grass Valley, California. We'll enjoy more lovely music from Toby, plus a song from Kate, composed especially for this service, and Catherine will be our faithful song leader. We'll connect with folks on Zoom, thanks to Eileen as chat host. All this is made possible by our valiant AV team and immeasurable support from Gail Johnson-Vaughn.
Sorry, I need the words of the land acknowledgement up on the teleprompter. I've got them. I've got it back up though, don't worry. In our commitment to be in right relationship with the descendants of this area's indigenous people, we place a small basket of black oak acorns on our altar each week. May the tribal sovereignty of the Nevada City Rancheria, Nisenan, be restored through federal recognition.
I need the words. Everyone needs the words. Okay.
Good morning again. And even though I've got a note right in front of me, I forgot to tell you to turn your phones off. So fortunately, there's always a second chance for us, right? So the title of today's service is The Threshold of Change. Am I the only one feeling like I am way past the threshold and being rapidly carried downstream, if you will forgive the mixed metaphor? Something about the word threshold suggests some clear line of demarcation, stepping from this into that, and perhaps there's an element of choice. It certainly doesn't feel that way to me right now, but perhaps I'm not looking deeply enough. When I think of all the kinds of changes we may be experiencing, personal change, climate change, social change, changes in our families, in our country, where can I find choices? Is it a time for accepting or resisting? Hanging back or stepping boldly forward? Does it have to be miserably uncomfortable, or can there be some trust and ease in the process? This is a Tapestry service in which we will hear from 3 members talking about profound changes in their own lives. I thank them in advance for their willingness to share so openly with us. I think people often find their way to Unitarian Universalism as a result of changes in their lives, either in external circumstances or internal processes, or both. This is a tradition that doesn't offer easy answers, and we don't much trust them either. We value the questions, the process, the dialogue that helps us grow as individuals and as a community. Whatever your background, beliefs, identifications, whatever changes you are facing or have accepted or are struggling with, you are so welcome here.
Welcome you to the lighting of the chalice, our opening words by Arlen Goff. Thresholds, we cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside and back again, from here to there, from anywhere to everywhere, from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation, from what we were and what we are to what we can be. In this hour, in this place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, to an awareness of new life, pregnant with possibilities. How will we be renewed in this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed through this gathering of beloved community? Come, you longing, thirsty souls. Come, let us worship together. Now would be a great time for you to light your chalices at home.
In some ways, we all know this story, right? We've all seen that dog. We've all clutched the slimy ball. The happiness of a dog with a ball in its mouth. The slowness of two eyes opening. The happiness of a new day once we got the eyes open. The patience of a dog at the door. The happiness of a dog with a ball in its mouth. The nervousness of a beginning. The happiness of a middle. The indignity of a cut. And the happiness of a scab. The stillness of a perch and the happiness of flight. The worry of looking and the happiness of finding. The frustration of no, 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 and the happiness of no. The divide of mine and the happiness of ours. The distance of the journey, look closely, you see who's journeying there. And the happiness of getting there. The feeling of leaping and the happiness of having left. The effort of holding in and the happiness of letting go. The self-sufficiency of a cat in the morning and the happiness of a cat in the afternoon. The difficulty of choice, the happiness of a decision or two. The boredom of nothing to do and the happiness of doing nothing. The ache of loss and the happiness of a memory and the sadness too. The sameness of same and the happiness of a change. The reluctance of getting out, the happiness of getting in, the aloneness of a room, the happiness of home, the mystery of sleep, and the happiness of a new day. The end. And now we are going to sing our younger ones off to their kids' connection. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let
Freshman dorm room looking in. Brand new city, how do I begin? Names on the door, printed neatly. Roommate inside, smiling sweetly. My name's Dora, how about you? Wanna go for pizza? Yes, I do. I'm gonna be fine. I'll take a deep breath, close my eyes, cross the threshold, find the prize of a new day, new part to play, brand new start. First house, moving in, brand new life, how do I begin? Names on the mailbox, printed neatly, next door neighbors smiling sweetly. My name's Barbara, nice to meet you. You like to play music? Yes, I do. I'm gonna be fine. I take a deep breath, close my eyes, cross the threshold, find the prize of a new day, new part to play, brand new start. Every new place I go, every scary thing I try, someone's there to walk with me. Together we're gonna be fine. I'll take a deep breath, close my eyes, cross the threshold, find the prize of a new day, new part to play, brand new start. Looking in, will I see those friends again? Names on my bracelet, typed so neatly, family around me, smiling sweetly. Whatever happens, I'm not alone. I'm gonna be fine. I take a breath, close my eyes, cross the threshold.
Now is the time in our service where we can honor the joys and sorrows in our life. All joys and sorrows are the result of change. For all who wish to, you can come forward and place a stone in the water. Even the stone you place in the water is changed, maybe from being dull to shiny or a microscopic bit of erosion. Each stone will make room for the next, changing together. So please come forward.
I'm going to place a special stone for John Burnside. John is, for those of you who don't know, a long time member here and a beloved friend. He passed so suddenly on Friday, and our hearts are broken. I chose 3 stones, a really big one, because it's like that, and a heart, because we're there. And what I today felt was the most beautiful stone. I placed them for all of us.
Today's meditation reading is from the book called Trusting Change by Karen Hering, and it is available from our UUA bookstore online. So now just settle in and relax, and I will read you here. Here, where already you have left behind by choice or by force what you knew, what you cherished, what you maybe took for granted. Here, where not yet do you know where you're headed, what it will take, what it will give, how it will change you. Here, on the threshold, you balance on a comma between the no longer and the not yet. Now, may you pause, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, on the cusp in between. Notice where fullness gives way to emptying as the full moon each month sloughs in its waning and makes way for new waxing. Now, letting go of attachments and assumptions, may you release what you've clutched in your fear, making room for the stranger knocking, who is always you. Now, may you discover what you've carried within all along, but not known, named, or needed. Ancestors' whisperings, newborn powers, the hope of the young, the resilience of the earth and its being. Now they are crucial. Clear a path to their wellspring. Walk it often. Keep it open. Now may you listen, one ear turned inward to your heart and the body's knowing, one ear turned outward to the suffering and joy that will teach us. Now, look around you at the others waiting with you on the curl of this comma. You will need them, they will need you. Together, we will round this bend, cross over into the not yet, where, having let go, we might finally learn a new way is possible now, here.
So we've done this song before. It's meditation on breathing. There's 3 parts, so it's often done as a round. The way it's set up, I'm going to sing the heartbeat of it first, and you all can join with that. It's breathe in, breathe out. And then I'm going to move to the main verse. And if anyone feels like the heartbeat is where they want to be, you can stay there, or you can try the verse. And then there'll be the descant. We'll do that if you want. But if you want to stay on the verse, you can stay on the verse, or you can stay on the heartbeat. So it's really beautiful when it's all mixed together. And so then after we get all of those parts going, then people can do what they want, and then we'll finish off the way we started with the heartbeat. So that's what's going to happen. Enjoy it.
Breathe out.
The mystic priest and poet John O'Donohue once wrote, "At any time you can ask yourself, at which threshold am I now standing? At this time in my life, what am I leaving? Where am I about to enter? What is preventing me from crossing my next threshold? What gift would enable me to do it?" So many of us are finding ourselves at the threshold of change. No longer where we were, not yet where we will be. In this holy place, there is an invitation to the now. As we explore what it means to be a people on the path of change, we thought it would be helpful to hear from our fellow members about how they moved through a time of profound change, including the challenges and the supports that made all the difference. A deep thank you to Stu Matthews, Siobhan Boylan, and Tracy Pepper for your willingness to share.
Almost half a lifetime ago, I was living in Maryland where I grew up. After a few years of college that themselves felt like half a lifetime. I had been in a bit of a funk. After having a tumultuous end to my high school years, I dove headfirst into college. I started college right after my father passed away. I lived in a house with two friends, a 15-minute drive from campus. After a year, I lived with my brother and other friends for 2 years. In retrospect, taking a year off after high school to grieve and reflect and then living on campus would have been the way to go. But here I was, having switched from computer science to math and still not being able to fully engage with my schoolwork. I had a budding IT career that I could support myself with. I remember the very moment I decided to leave Maryland. I was sitting in my uncle's truck with my brother on the Washington, D.C. Beltway on our way to a football game, stuck in traffic. Washington, D.C. had, at the time, the second worst traffic in the country. I was sick of spending half my life in a car in the Maryland suburbs. I decided at that moment, I grew up in Maryland, I lived in Maryland, that didn't mean I had to stay in Maryland. Most of the time when someone makes a big move, they do it to move to somewhere for a specific reason. I was moving from somewhere. I don't dislike Maryland. It's a beautiful state with some pretty progressive values, but that didn't mean it was where I fit best. I consulted with some friends on a group blog, remember blogs, to settle on a short list of Miami, San Francisco, and Seattle. Miami turned out to be a nice place to vacation, but I would have hated living there. Next was San Francisco. After a cross-country flight, I took a nap, then walked from Van Ness to North Beach while the sun was setting. I was instantly in love. A couple days later, I had landed an entry-level IT job and a modest apartment. I canceled my plans to visit Seattle. Don't worry, Seattle's a beautiful city, but it wasn't in the cards for 2005. Within a week or so, I drove cross-country with a tiny amount of stuff. I've been a Californian ever since. Sometimes your readiness for change builds up for a while, so you are ripe to make a quick decision that you just know is right. At least that's what happened to me, and it was certainly one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Many of you know that I've been a teacher for more than 15 years. And some of you know that I left my teaching job back in March. And I don't know if I'll ever go back to teaching. So here I am, smack dab in the middle of a big old change. I didn't think I'd be here. I pictured myself retiring from teaching 20 years in the future. But now that picture is just blank. To be honest, I'd never had long-term plans or dreams. My life's motto has always been, sure, why not? Which has led me from one adventure to the next. I got to be a paper-making studio assistant at Penland School of Craft in North Carolina because I said, sure, why not? I got to tag along on a trip to Ghana with a sort of random high school group because I said, sure, why not? I spent 3 summers co-teaching a young writers camp in Shenzhen, China because of a sure, why not? And honestly, I'm here in Grass Valley because of sure, why not? And I helped out on Sunday mornings with the video and PowerPoints because I told Bob Miller, sure, why not? So it shouldn't have been such a surprise to have not made it all the way to teacher retirement. I just hoped that after a lifetime of jumping into the next fun thing, that this time I would do it differently. I would commit to something. I'd put down roots. I'd get really cozy in a community and then just coast into middle-class bliss. But here I am, like it or not. So now what? Well, Grace asked me to share some reflections on change, so I told her, sure, why not? And it got me thinking about this change that I'm in and what it means. So honestly, I guess I equate change with failure, because why else change if things that you were doing before were just fine? And that led me to think about a couple of podcasts that I listened to, a Freakonomics podcast about quitting and celebrating failure. There was an economics professor on both of the episodes whose claim to fame is that he tries to persuade his grad students to quit grad school. And his mantra is, fail fast. They told a story of some high-level executive who got into this situation where they were going to launch some product, and they had gotten so far into the project that it was like too late to pull out, when he knew all along that they weren't going to make the deadline and they were going to have to delay the launch of this product. And, was he going to lose his job? Blah, 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 blah. And this economics professor said, yeah, the issue was that executive fell for something called the sunk cost fallacy. And he said that a sunk cost fallacy means that the time and energy that we've already put into something is just going to be wasted if you quit. But that's not really true. In reality, what the professor said is that we really need to be thinking about opportunity cost, which is really about our future investment. He says every hour you spend on something now is an hour you could be spending on something that might make your life better. So basically his theory is like, leave while you're still having fun. Instead of going with the devil you know, go with the devil you don't know, because you never know. The risk is that that other one really could be better. And chances are things will be better in the future. So he says the minute you realize things are not great, it's time to quit, or at least change. So here I am in this big career change, and I can't help thinking that I should have left sooner. I knew in my gut things were not good. And they just got worse and worse. But I didn't know what else to do. I had fallen so hard for the sunk cost fallacy. All the time I had invested, all the curriculum I had built, all the money I'd spent on my classroom and materials and all of it. Like, I couldn't just give it up. I had to keep going, because what else was there? Not to mention the shame of quitting and the shame of leaving something that maybe I wasn't that good at, or maybe wasn't just the right fit. The shame of throwing away my career kept me from leaving, but I really wish I'd quit while I was still having fun. I wish I'd failed faster. So now I'm just trying to take the next best step and trying to say more of, sure, why not? I finished a 3-month coding boot camp, learning some new programming languages, hoping to get into software or maybe ed tech, because sure, why not? I'm delivering mail with the United States Postal Service because sure, why not? And who doesn't love the post office? I have no idea what I'll be doing next year, or the year after that, and even less than an idea of where or how I'll retire. But I do know that whatever comes next, I'm going to fail faster and quit sooner because the opportunity cost is just too high to stay in something that's not awesome.
Good morning. I think that most of us can agree that one constant in life is change. Some changes we welcome, like changing jobs for a promotion, changing from single status to married, and for some from married to single, or even something as little as changing paint colors in our home. Other changes are not so welcome, such as an unwelcome divorce, death of a loved one, or a life-threatening medical diagnosis of cancer, such as was my case recently. Many of the changes we have no control over, and we never know from minute to minute what curveball or change life may throw our way. I found myself in that position in January with that diagnosis. When I'm faced with significant and not so significant changes in my life, I've learned that there are some commonalities within the change. Whether the change is good or bad, small or large, for me, those commonalities are courage and faith. I don't believe that I could have gotten through or get through the changes that are going on in my life right now without courage and without faith. So courage, according to Webster's, is the ability to do something that frightens us, the choice and the willingness to confront agony, pain, uncertainty, danger, intimidation, and fear. It takes courage to step into and through all that change may bring. In change, courage and resiliency, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, to modify, adapt, adjust quickly, is absolutely necessary, or it certainly is for me. So where do I get that courage from? That courage comes from my faith. My faith is the foundation upon which everything rests. Faith that despite all evidence of the contrary, everything will be okay in the end. It may not come out exactly how I think it should, but I have faith that it will because I have faith in my God. Faith fuels my courage. It gives me resilience. And faith keeps me focused and helps shape my attitude, my perception, my perspective. And I have to tell you that in the 9 months that I have been going through this journey, one of the best tools that I have had is my ability to maintain a positive attitude. And I was told throughout the course of my treatments by medical professionals that they noted the positive attitude and they felt that it was contributing to the success of my treatments. So it was very, very important. Also, faith in the knowledge that every challenge, every change, especially those that upend our lives, provides an opportunity to learn, to gain wisdom, and to grow physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Like metal made stronger by tempering, and sand transformed into glass, it is reassuring and a lift to my spirits to know that in every situation, in every challenge, no matter how big or how small, there is a nugget. Sometimes there are many nuggets of wisdom to be gained. There's opportunities for your strengths and your weaknesses to be revealed to you. And all of those things happen, allow you to grow as a result, direct result of the change and the changes that we go through. So it may sound crazy, but I periodically say thank you. Thank you, adversity. Thank you, cancer. But I always, always say thank you, God, for giving me the faith and the courage to be able to get through all that I get through. I don't have all the answers as a result of going through this journey. And maybe that's the point. We don't have to have all the answers. We really don't. But we do need to have faith and we do need to have courage in order to get through. So in conclusion, I'd like to leave you all with a quote from Maya Angelou. And it is, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." Thank you.
Ooh, what a trio. So many thanks to Stu, Siobhan, and Tracy for the gifts you have given us today. Your honesty and courage in sharing the ways you have crossed thresholds, accepted, and even embraced what awaited you. And the ways you're able to look both backwards and forwards in your life journeys is inspiring and hopeful. May we all cross the thresholds that await us with grace and courage.
For thresholds to be crossed, resources are often needed. Maybe it's the presence of someone or some kind words. Often it's some financial assistance. This month, our partner in it's Bright Futures, and 25% of your donations this month will go to Bright Futures. We're lucky to welcome Cassie Robertson to tell us some more about Bright Futures.
Thank you so much for having me and allowing me. Do you want me to mic? Okay. Oh, I'm good. Thank you. You can see me. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me to share a little bit about Bright Futures. It's I'm quite moved by your ceremony today. So and it's actually quite apt because Bright Futures is about thresholds for growth and thresholds for change. Basically, in a nutshell, we believe in foundation and community and helping our young people become part of an active and healthy community so that we all benefit from it. But in a nutshell, Bright Futures is comprised of 3 programs. The Friendship Club, which is for a referral-based program for girls. NEO, which is a youth drop-in center. And our 3rd program is called the SAFE program, and that is for kids who are on the cusp of homelessness, who are couch surfing, who are food insecure, and we provide services for them, case management, getting them SNAP benefits, all the things that they don't teach you in school, and that many of these kids don't have any kind of positive role models. In addition to that, we took on the Cinderella Project. So if you have a young person who needs formal clothing, come to us. And we recently built a drop-in center for our SAFE program. And your donation this month is helping us fund a capital campaign where we can build out our NEO Youth Center and add showers and laundry facilities. So many of these young people, even kids who are not in distress, have needs to be able to do laundry, come in and have a hot meal, and And, you know, foundationally, we just want to teach them agency, autonomy, what a healthy relationship looks like, what having actual fun looks like. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I was asked to be brief, so I'll be in the lobby if you want to ask me any questions. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, after that nice commentary by Cassie, if you'd like to give 100% of your donations to Bright Futures, there is an envelope in the basket where you can do that.
Your generosity remains essential to our ability to sustain the work of our community. There are several ways to contribute. You may text an amount to 833-579-0483, give via our website at uugrassvalley.org, via PayPal at paypal.me/UUCM, or mail to UUCM 246 South Church Street, Grass Valley, California, 95945. Thank you.
We dedicate these gifts today, these gifts of your generosity. And as someone that works with children that have emotional disturbances, I really appreciate the work that Bright Futures does, and I hope our generosity helps you.
Oh my goodness, many, many people worked together to make this special service today. Lots of thanks to Gracie and Rain for designing and developing the service and letting me take part in it. Oops. Oh my, well, and to everybody else, including the AV people there, and the musicians, of course, Toby, Catherine, Kate, all the people behind the scenes. Oh, here we go. All right. George and Gail, I have to say, these services in Kevin's absence would be way, way, way more difficult than they are if we didn't have Gail. She's the glue that makes it happen. Eileen is our chat host, of course. Shanti for another beautiful office, the greeters, Gwen and Jean, the refreshment people, Kids Connection, takes a village, and this is it. Thank you all so much. Book group today at 12:30. Jenny Doherty is doing a wonderful writing group. Runoff elections likely in Georgia. Postcard project continues. Jenny. Okay, got that. Jenny saying it starts at 2 o'clock. All right, we keep revisiting. And the new stewardship program, please see the stewardship people at the sign-up table. Sunday services, look at the website if you haven't checked it out lately. It's easy to use, lots of information. Catherine. Yes.
We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us here this way. We have spent time together, and these holy moments give us strength to go down the winding road until we meet again. And my prayer for you is a peace that's true until we meet again.
Closing words today by Karen Johnston. Psychic or spiritual thresholds are not known for their grand entrances. Spiritual thresholds are not even necessarily known by their size. They are known, I think, by their quality. It's almost as if the air is different, an electricity, an intensity, a vibration. Certainly, it's invisible to the naked eye, but it's there, the change, the shift, the entrance, ready to be sensed and engaged. And now we say together the community benediction that ushers it into this next week. We will carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. See you next Sunday.